hardest weeks in my life. And trust me, I've been through a lot of hard times. But snowmageddon, I mean, seriously. And it's got me thinking about a lot of, I don't know, disaster preparedness. What is going on in our own businesses, in our own lives? And are we really prepared? You can do everything you know to prepare. You can think you've covered your bases, but the truth is, it's not always enough. It's not always up to you. This week, some mayor in Texas went on and blasted the population of his town, saying, "We're not your nanny. You shouldn't count on us to take care of you." Now, aside from what I think about that after having lived through this week, that's not, I mean, think about what he's saying. He's saying, you living in my city, we have rules and regulations. You're not allowed to dig a well and do, you can't put up a windmill in your backyard to drive your own electricity, but it's your responsibility. So we did have people trying to take care of themselves. We had people who tried to use camp stoves in their house. Well, that causes carbon monoxide, and there were people who were taken to the hospital for carbon monoxide poisoning. There were people who tried to build a fire, and it got out of hand, and they burned down their house in the middle of one of the worst snowstorms in the state's history. I've lived here most of my life, and this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. So needless to say, I've got disaster preparedness on my mind. And it might help if you understand the degree to which we actually thought we were preparing for this event. We heard that multiple storms were coming, or we know what that means. That here we don't get snow very often. We get ice. And what that means is, even if you've practiced driving on the roads, they're not safe. I actually, when I learned how to drive, my father took me to the high school parking lot, and he had me do donuts in the frozen parking lot so I would get comfortable with driving on ice. I don't want to get out on the roads because other people may not have that experience. Also, it's just dangerous. The roads will be clear for a certain, and then there will be one patch, and you hit that patch and your car just loses control. Once you've lost control, you're sunk. So it's not knowing that that's what we were looking at, a week of not being able to get out of the house. What did we do? Disaster preparedness, right? We went and got food. So we would be able to hunker down for the week and we'd be fine. We weren't prepared for what happened at all. We thought we were prepared. But what happened was the grid got, well, news is coming out that it wasn't just the weather. It wasn't actually updated. It hasn't been maintained. And there are people at fault here, which we won't talk about right now. But because of that, we lost power. Then we lost water, and we went days not being able to cook the food we had bought because we had no power. We were wearing our outdoor coats. We were watching the thermostat go down click by click over time, wondering just how cold is this going to be. It's like 4 degrees outside, 8 degrees on a day I posted on Facebook. And you're watching this and you're literally thinking, will my kids get a message that we froze to death in our home? That's the kind of thinking we're doing. Fortunately, we had a package of bottled water in the garage. We were able to pull that out. But what if we hadn't had that? Nowhere did it cross our minds that we needed to get water for a snowstorm. That wasn't even on our minds. Many times we think we are preparing for the future, and we're not anywhere close. I think you can hear my feelings about this week. I'm still a little traumatized, actually. We are now looking at getting generators. We're looking at getting a butane stove that we could use in the house. We're looking at a whole closet, filling it up with food that we could eat, even if we had no power, no light, no nothing. These are the kind of thoughts that are going through our minds right now because clearly the preparedness that we thought we had wasn't enough. Now, imagine that's your business. Let's go back to, when you're an employee, it's not your job. There is somebody up in the C-suite whose job it is to worry about where clients are coming, where customers are coming from, and how they're going to pay your salary. All you have to worry about is showing up and doing your job. But when you own your business, you're a solopreneur, you're a freelancer, it's all on you. But how do we usually prepare? Preparedness for us is usually about, do I have a client and am I taking care of that client? We're not thinking bigger. We're not actually preparing for the worst case scenario. And that's what this week was. It was a perfect storm of, I mean, exposing everybody's lack of preparedness. But as I was sitting here this week, I was laughing actually. Over Christmas, I had a last minute client where I didn't get a Christmas break, and I was just a little bit irritated over that. And I've been saying to myself, I would just really like 1 week to be totally bored. Little did I know, I'm sitting here. I can't use a tablet or a phone because we have to keep emergency lines open. We can't use up our battery because we don't know what's going to happen. Who will we need to call? I was totally bored. Nighttime came and it was dark. All we had was a candle. And it was one of these situations where I kind of got my wish, but was it what I wanted? No, 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 not at all. So we need to think about that worst case scenario where I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to take care of my clients. I'm talking with a prospect now and I was thinking, am I missing a call? What if she wants to have a meeting? What am I going to do? Worst case scenario. What if you're not able to get clients? What if something happens? You have a massive injury and you're not able to work for 6 months. What if a pandemic strikes? I mean, a lot of people thought the pandemic was worst case scenario, but you pile snowmageddon on top of a pandemic, you've got a worst case scenario. It can almost always be worse. The question is, are you ready? That's one of the things that I'm thinking a lot about. And it's one of the reasons that I started solopreneurlife.com. I want you to go there. It's a brand new blog, and that's going to be all about building a business you love. Building a business where getting clients is easy, where you can actually focus on doing projects you like, working with people you enjoy, working where and when you enjoy, because it's your business and you're in control. But as I said, you also have to be thinking about the worst case scenario. What could go wrong so I can be ready for it? So I'm not stuck trying to ransack my house for food to eat because there's nothing I can cook without electricity. This is the kind of thinking we need to have. And it's one of the things that dawned on me. I've also got a digital conference coming up, solopreneurlive.com. In fact, I want to show you that URL. Solopreneurlive.com is where I'm bringing together some people who are movers and shakers among our community. These are people who wear all the hats in their own business. They are doing remarkably well. They're finding ways to bring in multiple streams of income. They're finding ways to get clients more easily. These are things we need to know. And if you think about it, what is that but disaster preparedness? Just knowing what's possible so you can be ready. Just knowing what you could be doing to double your business this year. In spite of a pandemic, in spite of snowmageddon, in spite of all the stuff that might happen, being able to build a network of people who you can lean on, who get what you're going through, and you can call up every now and then and say, hey, I got a question. How are you handling this? Is this happening to you? Because I'm struggling with this. And we have those moments. But if you don't have a strong network, you're not fully prepared. If you don't have a few tricks up your sleeve of backup plans, not just plan A, but plan B and plan C as well, If you don't have those, you're not fully prepared for the worst case scenario. That's how we need to be thinking. And that's why Solopreneur Live is so important. I really, really want you to be there. And because of everything that's been going on, and because money is tight, and I know that, I have made a special deal. Pay what you will. Go visit solopreneurlive.com. I don't have a ticket price. You can pay me what you can afford. I just want you to be there. So go now. Go ahead and sign up now. This is in April, but go ahead and sign up so it's on your calendar because you don't want to miss this. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a great way to meet other people and hang out with people who get what you're going through, who maybe have been through the worst case scenario in their business and have already figured things out. It's what you need. You know it. So go and sign up today. I'll be looking for you there. And in the meantime, stay awesome.